again he would just grab me and dance with me to a song, and I would be so surprised that I could like do all these things that I didn't know I could do, because I didn't understand the dynamic of like lead and follow. I didn't know any of that. I just knew choreo, and he started social dancing with me, and I was like, wow, what is this? This feels amazing. Like he's making me do things I never knew I could do. And I think I had like a
Meia kota, meia ndungu, meia kalunga, meia janda, meia tigela, meia água, o fio da meada.
On today's episode of the 2FU podcast, we had on the amazing Nhat and Gigi Jove. They are some incredibly amazing Brazilian Zouk dancers currently residing in Austin, Texas, man. This is a great episode, man, where we talk about, their beginning stage in learning to dance, learning to teach. Great episode, man. So much value in it. I know you're going to enjoy it, man. Let's hop right into it.
Hey, all right. So I am now on the line with Nhat and Gigi Jove, who both are currently living in Austin, Texas. Is that correct?
Yes.
Hey, and you all are Brazilian Zouk dancers and instructors. Is that correct?
Yes.
Hey, how are you all doing today?
Good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I'm curious, man. We kind of discussed this earlier. I was unable to find, where you guys are from. Were you both raised in Austin, Texas, or?
No, I was raised in Dallas, Texas,
Okay.
which is just 3 hours from Austin, and he was too. So
Yeah.
we're both-
Okay. All right. Sure enough. So Nhat, did you work in India at one point?
I did actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I lived there for about a year.
Okay.
And just to experience a different culture, learn new things, and just push myself to grow. And
Okay, that's awesome, man.
yeah.
That's cool. I'm curious, man. Could you tell me about that? Tell me, I guess tell me what brought you to India and what was that like, man?
So I was working at my job that I just got out of college. It's at a place called, at the time it was Hospira, but they make IV bags, and so they're like dealing with pharmaceuticals. And they had a site in India that they were trying to build. So it was like a brand new site, and they wanted to bring expats over, which is expatriates, people from the U.S. coming over to other countries to work.
Is it expat? Is that strictly military or is that just citizens?
No, so in my case, it's like a worker from another country. So
I never knew what that meant. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So in my case, I'm an expat from the U.S. working in India.
Okay.
And they had opportunity, and I've always wanted to travel.
Yeah.
Growing up, like my family just didn't have enough money to travel, and we kind of just stayed home most of the time. And so I took this like, hey, this is a good opportunity. I can not only travel, see the world, but I can also, make some money and learn while I'm at it. So I knew it was a good opportunity. I like to push my boundaries and like kind of see what's out there and explore. And so when the opportunity came up, I volunteered. But it was funny because a lot of people were like, "Don't go, don't do it," because there are people.
I'm curious why. Yeah, why they say no?
There were people that have already gone, been there like a year before I went, and they had bad experiences. They were still working over there. They had signed a 2-year contract, so they had to stay there for 2 years. And the reason why they took me and like so quickly to go because it's like no one was really volunteering and they needed people. So I was like, I don't care, at the
It's a great
time.
opportunity, man.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's funny because at the time, like I was like, I'm single, like I don't like have anything or anyone like that I have to worry too much about. 2 months before I headed out, that's when Gigi and I finally became boyfriend and girlfriend, and then
Okay.
oh great. So we spent a good 9 months away from each
Distance.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was rough. I learned a lot. We weren't allowed to drive there because the driving is insane. If you can imagine like people walking in the hallways and being really close to each other. That's essentially how they drive.
There's a lot of people over there, right?
Yeah.
Well,
There's like
real
no
quick,
rules.
real quick. What part of India were you at? Or what?
I was in a place called Vishakhapatnam. They call it B-Zouk for short. It's on the southeast side of India in the Bay of Bengal.
Okay.
So it was nice. It was a newer city in the sense that like it was like more a village at the time. But when I got there, they had started like I don't know, industrializing,
Okay.
modernizing.
Okay.
Can't talk. But so so they but the other sad thing is that they had just gotten hit by a hurricane the year.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was still seeing them recover from it, but it was good. The people were really sweet, really nice. I had so a driver. He took care of me the whole entire year, and he's my family.
Okay,
Like
that's awesome.
yeah, yeah, really really sweet, sweet kids and everything.
All right, sure enough.
It was cool. Got to see the world. Got to go over Asia. It was really nice.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. I've never been to India, so I would love to go, man.
It was nice.
I was curious, Gigi, what I've been to like Austin, Texas a couple times, but I've never really been to Dallas. Could you tell me, I guess what was your childhood like growing up in Dallas?
Let's see. So I grew up figure skating.
Okay, sure enough.
A lot of my childhood was me going to the Galleria Mall after school because they had an ice skating rink there, and just practicing pretty much every day after school. And then as I started getting busier after school, I would go before school at like 5 o'clock in the morning to do my
Wow, that's
private.
dedication.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, so I did that for several years, and the fun things to do there were like to go to the movie theater, to go to the mall, go over to your friend's house. There wasn't really that much to do there that's like outdoorsy or things like that. It's more like big city, and
Yeah.
you go to malls for fun, that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, I understand. I, I'm curious, what got you into figure skating? Your parents or something you wanted to do?
I think it's something I wanted to do. I must have seen it or something, and my dad put me in maybe like when I was 5, and I just kept doing it, and I loved it. And it was something that was cool because not a lot of my other friends did.
Right. Yeah, I don't think I grew up with anyone who figure skated, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. So it was really fun. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of hard work.
I believe it.
Yeah, it was a lot of dedication, and it was something that was like mine, and I enjoyed doing. So
How long did you, I guess, stay with that? Do you still currently figure skate or?
yeah. I did it until maybe like the beginning of high school. So from when I was 5.
Okay, I understand. Yeah.
And then now and again I'll go, and I still have my skates still fit me.
Oh
So
wow. Okay.
yeah, and so I'll go every once in a while
I
and
understand. Is
try
it
things that I remember I used to be able to
is
do.
it is it kind of like riding a bike, like something you never forget how to, I guess, ice skate?
Yeah, in some ways, yeah. It's just like things just kind of came to me, and I was like, oh yeah,
Okay.
I remember this, and I remember that.
I've only been to one ice rink in my whole life, and I was terrified. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was such a scary experience because I couldn't do it, and I was just so scared I was gonna hurt myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is about the ice skating rentals, the blades are very dull,
Oh,
and so you guys, are slipping all over the place because you don't have the friction that you need against the ice with a sharper blade. So maybe they do it for safety reasons, but then I would
right,
like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they do it for safety, but for figure skaters, we have to get our blades sharpened every so often,
right.
able to grip the ice better.
Yeah, I understand. I definitely understand that. And I'm curious, Nat, tell me, I guess, what was your childhood like in Dallas?
So yeah, I was a also a figure skater. I'm
Oh
just
wow. Oh, okay. I was like, yeah.
joking. I know, right? No, my childhood was, it was simple in the sense that like my parents they came over, they were refugees from Vietnam, and so they came over, didn't have much, raised us. I have an older and younger brother, as best as they could with what they could, and so we learned to live very just to live within our means and to just deal with what we have and make the most of it. So whether it be wearing hand-me-downs for my brother, or just a lot of times my parents would be working, and so we would stay at home watching shows, TV shows. We were fortunate to have a computer, 1995 Windows.
I
So
remember that.
yeah, very, very, very slow. But a lot because we were home most of the time because my parents were working and we couldn't do anything. I would be on the computer learning how to use Microsoft Word, learning how to type, just little things like that. Playing with paint or whatever, just tinkering around just because I was bored. And then and because dial-up is extremely slow. um, and just when it's funny because like it would be like people would have a PlayStation and I would still only just have gotten a Super Nintendo.
Okay,
And
sure enough.
my Super Nintendo, playing those games as much as I could, watching the same old VHS as much as I could, just because I'm bored and like this is all I can do.
Yeah.
Playing with toys, just that's pretty much my childhood. Like it was very simple. We hung out with each other a lot. We didn't go to our friends' places much. My parents were kind of like, stay at home, be safe, protect their parents.
I understand.
Yeah, and when we were younger in Dallas proper, we lived in an apartment, so we would go outside and play with other kids. But then when we moved to Garland, which is a suburb or a county, I guess you would call it, of Dallas, we lived in a house at the time, and so we didn't play with other people as much, like other kids, just because they didn't really come outside in the neighborhood. So like we'd play a little bit of basketball in the front yard
Sure
or
enough.
like
Yeah.
that, football around. And then we had like a church youth group that we'd always go to every Sunday and just play football with them and learn and hang out with them.
Sure enough. I understand. I definitely understand that. I'm curious. Oh, I was so now you said your parents are from Vietnam. Where
Yeah.
are your parents from, Gigi?
They're from Mexico.
Okay, okay. So you're a Latin. Okay, Spanish. All right. And so I'm curious. Did either of you all grow up in dancing households at all?
So yeah, growing up in a like Mexican household, you go to lots of quinceañeras, lots of weddings, and
All right,
so
right. Yeah.
you grow up learning like merengue and cumbia and um, a lot of like this Latin street dancing.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I did grow up doing that. And then ice skating in a sense is sort of like dance.
Yeah.
I believe it, especially like the routines you all have.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
But my parents, oh, actually, so I started salsa dancing at the age of 14 in
Okay.
Dallas. And I'd be going out to clubs like every weekend. That,
At 14,
yeah,
they had teenager clubs. Or you were going to
no,
adult clubs?
I was going to adult clubs.
You, your parents you were sneaking out the house. Like, how does that work out? Please
My mom
explain.
would go with me. So my mom
Okay.
with me, and so
Supervised.
she was learning how to salsa dance a little bit, and she really likes bachata actually. So she'd be dancing bachata and stuff. And she was kind of learning a little bit while I was learning, but then I just wanted to do it for fun, and but eventually my mom stopped going with me, and I was still going, and I was like 15 to
Okay.
with friends that I had made in the scene, and people called me La Niña, like
Like the
the
child, right?
yeah,
Girl.
child. Yeah, and everyone kind of looked out for me.
Hey,
And
that's awesome.
the owner of the club, he knew who I was, and it was like either 18 and up or a no, I think it was 18 and up. But he'd let me in because
That's
he
awesome. He knew you. Yeah.
and then eventually I started teaching a salsa class with a salsa community leader there before
Oh.
the club dancing.
Right. Yeah, the class before the social.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Hey guys, if you could leave a like and subscribe and share this with the people, that would mean the world to me and my channel. I really would appreciate that. But let's just jump right back into this episode.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm curious. Do you think that your background in figure skating, do you think that that influenced your salsa style, I guess, or how you learned it? Did it help benefit you or deter you?
I think it helped me a lot just because with ice skating it requires so much body awareness. So I think once I started dancing, I was able to incorporate feedback pretty quickly, and
Okay.
yeah, but as far as like styling goes, a little bit with the arms and things like that. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, sure enough. I'm curious how important was music in your household, Gigi?
It was pretty important. I mean, I remember my dad always like playing his old jams, while we were cleaning the house on the weekends and things like that. But then, when I go to school and my friends are like, "Oh, do you know this classic or whatever?" And I'd be like, "No," because I didn't grow up hearing English music at home. It was just all like
Right, right,
Spanish
right. Yeah, yeah.
things that my dad loved listening to. So, that happens a lot. I think to like, you know, children from
Immigrant.
immigrant families.
No, I
Like,
definitely understand that.
yeah,
I
so yeah,
have this. I have this like this. I guess I call it like a little theory. Well, like I guess if you grow up listening to the music, it kind of helps you learn it more easy, learn the dance more easy. You kind of pick up on the musicality of it. It kind of like just ingrained in you.
Mhm.
From
yeah. I believe that too for sure. Yeah.
that's what I think. And I'm curious what you Nate. Did you grow up in a dancing household at all, or?
We grew up in a Dance Dance Revolution household.
Okay, that's the video game, right?
That's what I said. But most of the time, at least I, my little brother, we would just be playing with the controllers, and
Okay, sure enough. Yeah, you didn't have like the little dance pad. I remember that.
yeah, we just like left the dance pad alone. We just started using the controllers. But no, no, we're not. Growing up, we weren't much of a dancing household. Even now, like my brothers and my older brother more so, and my parents, they like refused to dance. My my mom at her wedding did not want to do a mother son dance. I was like, okay,
Hey,
that's fine with me. It's just not too much of our culture. Like in
I
Vietnamese
understand.
culture, social dancing is not really a thing.
Mhm.
Um, they have like dancing for, I think, for the women that do the
Traditional.
traditional dancing,
Right, right, right.
but social wise, it's not very common. But they do have Zook now in Vietnam. In
Really?
Yeah, which is really,
Okay.
so I definitely want to check that out sometime.
Yeah. I wanna. Well, we're gonna. You brought it up. I'm curious. I guess how did you all get introduced to Brazilian Zouk?
Um, so at the time, we were taking bachata
Privates,
privates
yeah.
Well,
with.
actually, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh no.
If we're gonna get into that, how did you all meet then? If you all were already dancing together.
Oh, okay, okay. We met at UT Austin, which is the college that we both went to,
Okay.
and I was part of a dance team called Pasiones Unidas, and Nat then joined it, and it was like a team that wasn't affiliated with the university, but we would practice on the university
Yeah,
campus.
because there's this place they call it Jester, and pretty much every dance team like that doesn't own a dance studio or something, they would go there and practice because it's just free open space.
Yeah, so you'd see like break dancers in one corner and salsa dancers in another
Yeah,
corner, and
hip
like
hop
hip.
and
Yeah,
all
it's
these
just
things.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
really cool.
So you both have a background in Latin then.
Yes.
Yes, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sure
I
enough.
I am salsa and bachata, and then that dance bachata at the end of high school.
I I terribly danced bachata and I was learning my first steps. And then the first year of college was when I actually started learning more salsa and bachata.
Because you joined a
Texas
student
Latin
org, yeah.
Dance. Yeah, I joined Texas Latin Dance. And I was joining teams there, trying to learn as much as I could. And then I fell in love with dancing, and I kept up with it. So
I'm curious, real quick. You said it was Texas Latin dance.
yes, Texas Latin.
What I guess what gave you the spark or the desire to learn dancing? It's just like you couldn't do it, or like why'd you start it up?
It's embarrassing. So well, at the time, my older brother was also going to college too, and so I roomed with him. And because we live in an apartment off campus, most freshman grad college students live in dorms, so they get
Right,
to meet
exactly.
people. I didn't, and so
It was
I didn't
cheaper
really.
that way, right? Off campus.
It is cheaper. It definitely is cheaper. And I live with my brother, so like I don't care. We get on each other's nerves. We get over it. Whatever. It's not a big deal. But because of that, I also didn't get to make a lot of friends. And
Right.
my brother saw that, and his girlfriend at the time saw that as well. And they were like, well, they knew that I like dancing a little bit. I just started learning. And they're like, you should check this out. Maybe you can get to meet people, make some new friends. And I was like, yeah, like maybe I like make to meet, some women, and
Yeah, yeah.
maybe if I can impress them somehow. So kind of came in with that mindset. I was like, oh, like I'm gonna learn and then try to like, kind of like impress people, and then. But I actually grew to really love dancing and love salsa and bachata a lot. And I found a lot of friends from it, and now like I love dancing for dance itself, and it did thankfully let me meet Gigi, my wife. So
Hey,
it worked out in the end.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I,
it's good.
I want to ask you both. I want you both to answer this. Tell me, what what was your beginner stage like? When you first started learning to dance, what was that like for you?
You remember?
Yeah, I do remember. So, for my quinceañera, I wanted to do a salsa routine, and my dad found this like random business card from this guy named Luis Delgadillo, and he hired him to do a choreo for my quinceañera. And as we wrapped up the choreo and everything, he said, "I want you to join my dance company." He's like, "I see a lot of potential in you." And every now and again, he just grab me and dance with me to a song, and I would be so surprised that I could like do all these things that I didn't know I could do, because I didn't understand the dynamic of like lead and follow, and I didn't know any of that. I just knew choreo, right? And then he started social dancing with me, and I was like, wow, what is this? This feels amazing. Like he's making me do things I never knew I could do. And I think I had like a natural kind of ability for dancing salsa, and so he's like, yeah, come join my dance company, and so I did. I did perform in his company for a few years. Um, but I do remember kind of going like this in
I
my
believe it. Yeah, of course. Especially if you join a performance team or a dance team, of course.
yes.
How often were you practicing a week?
Oh, we would practice about maybe 4 hours a week, and then I was social dancing every weekend.
I mean, well, yeah, of course your talent level went like that, of course.
I was improving pretty quickly.
Of course, and that's awesome. That's like probably the best way to do it.
And then
I would
when
say,
you're young, yeah.
I would say that when I dance salsa as well, and
Nice.
you know, I improve the most when I join a performance team.
Ah, yeah.
Because like you, while I was practicing, we had practice 2 times a week, and it might have been 4 hours a week, and I'll go out social dances. So it's just putting those hours in, those practice hours, and it's the best way to do it.
Yes, for
Mhm.
sure.
Definitely understand that. Yeah, yeah. And so I know you say you go to UTT, the
UT
college.
Austin.
Yeah, we went to University of Texas at Austin.
Okay, and so y'all just happened to join the same performance team. Is that what it was?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fortunate. It was a at the time pretty small community in terms of like salsa dancing, especially on a college campus. There's not very much competing groups, so
I understand. And I'm curious. Tell me now, how was that? How was that performance team experience for you? Did you enjoy that? Did you not like it, or?
yeah. It was good. Like there was a lot of things that I learned from it. I learned a lot of trying to create lines and make things look good, trying to perform, and showing the energy of what the music is asking for, and then just being able to work like with a partner and working um, within my own body. Because for me, like growing up, like I didn't have ice skating. I didn't do sports really. I throw a football around, but it's very like um, I didn't have awareness of essentially what my body was doing, like not
I
to the
understand. Yeah.
and so like learning at the time is like very just like for me like big chunks. Like I'm just like overall picture. Like this is what I think it looks like. I'm gonna try to mimic it as best as I can. Whether it feels the best and most efficient, like that didn't wasn't a thing in my mind. It was just like, oh, I got it. Like I got the shape. Like it looks like it, right? At least what I thought it looked like. And so that was what I was like working with in the sense of like my own ability and skill at the time. So it was fun, and it helped me to start to understand more of what I could do in my own body,
Yeah.
to learn how to turn and just trying to have balance while you're moving. You know,
Right,
it's
right, yeah.
dancing. So it was good. It was good overall. Yeah, I
Okay, yeah.
remember. I think it was like the first or the second practice, and they made me practice with Gigi, and I was super afraid. Like I was just shaking, literally shaking as I was, holding her in the basic position and trying to do my basic, and like messing up terribly because they're like, oh yeah, you're stepping like wrong. You're basically taking another step forward. I was like, oh crap. And like, so I was just like, I didn't like everything just went out of my mind because like got very inside my head. I was like, man,
Understand.
good. Like I'm not as good as her. I barely dance.
Right, right.
A lot of that happened. Just trying to overcome that like fear and trying to overcome that
Of course.
yeah.
I'm curious, that tell me what so you had some difficulties in the beginning. Why did you not give up? Why did you continue?
Um, I honestly because it was so fun. Like I really did enjoy being able to dance and to move with the music. Like it's funny enough for me that if there's any natural talent that I feel like I may have, it is that I feel like I can feel I can feel the music in my body, and like my
Okay.
body wants to like react to it, like it wants to express it. So that's
Okay.
the one thing that I feel that I have in the sense, like, because like body awareness, just learning how to move and dance is terribly difficult for me. It's
I
really
believe it. Yeah.
but this is like the one thing that like really like for me was felt very natural. And so because it's a performance team, you're working on hitting things musically, like that's
Right, right, right.
wow. And so I really enjoyed that and I really liked it. And just being able to put in hard work and see the results come out of it,
Yeah.
big motivator as well.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely understand that. And so you both on the same performance team and everything. I guess what happens after that?
After that, we actually lost contact for a while,
Ah,
about a year
okay.
or so, and then I reached out to her again, like about a year or so later, and we weren't really dancing at the time. She wasn't dancing anymore. I was still kind of dancing here and there, and then we went boxing, so we were
Okay.
boxing together, and then we started doing dance teams. So then we started dance teams again, but this time bachata.
Okay. Okay.
So we did bachata dance team. It was like a Daniel and Desiree world team
All
project.
right. I'm about to have them on the show. That sounds awesome.
So that was fun. That was
They're
really
really
good.
good. Yeah, they're really good.
And then I think a little bit after that, that's when I left to India. Worked in India, came back, and when I came back, we did more bachata, but we decided not to do a bachata performance team because it just felt like, for me personally, um, performance team didn't seem to help me like grow as much as I wanted to.
I
Like,
understand.
because a lot of my dance journey has been through performance teams. Like, I mean, if you think about salsa and bachata culture, it's like a lot of people do performance. For me, for some reason I couldn't translate the training in the performance to social dancing.
Oh.
Yeah, just and so at that time, that's when we decided like maybe we should take classes and then do private lessons.
Yeah. I want to say this real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off.
I know you're good.
I know so the ability to perform and social dance, they're not the same thing. Because I've heard that there are some excellent performance dancers
Yes.
who are not good social dancers. So I understand what you mean by that.
Yeah, yeah, it's totally two different skills.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
So yeah, like so we started taking lessons for bachata, and then that's when we fell into Zouk.
Ah, okay.
So we were taking privates with Fabian Bustos. He's a
Owner of
owner
Austin
of
Inspired
Austin
Movement.
Inspired Movement here in Austin, and he said, you guys should really look into Zouk because it'll help your bachata. So we're like,
That's sensual bachata, I guess, huh?
yeah, we're like,
And
oh, this sounds interesting. Yeah,
yeah,
we want to improve our bachata, so let's give it a shot. So we started taking
classes.
Yeah, the
Classes.
Zook group classes that he was offering.
It was him
and
Hannah at the
Hannah
time.
Miller Jones, and we were doing their weekly group classes as
Yeah.
well as privates at the time. But we ended up just like falling in love with this dance and just started sticking to.
Hey.
Actually, my first experience was a little different in the sense that so she fell in love with Zook the first sight, right? For me, I wanted to quit.
I say honestly, I'm learning Zouk myself, and it's actually one of the more difficult dances in my opinion.
Yeah, it was very difficult, and at the time, I what's it called? Ignorantly thought that I was, a proficient enough bachata dancer. So I was like, I should be able to pick up Zouk really well.
It's a completely different dance, though, man.
Right? I was like, yeah. But then I could not do it. And I was like, I want to give up. I can't do this. I suck. And Gigi convinced me otherwise. Like she said, she saw something like a potential, something in the dance. It's like, this is really fun. So she wanted me to keep going, and I did it for her, and now we love it.
So real quick then, you kind of hinted on it, but tell me about your beginner stage though. Actually, how long have you both been dancing in Brazilian Zouk now?
3 years now.
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so enough. Please tell me about your beginner stage. What was that like for you?
Yeah. So our beginner stage, we kind of hit the ground running with privates. So we were already taking a lot of privates up at the front of it. We still continue to take privates, but I think that really helped us with our growth. We were already starting to travel to Zouk Congresses 6 months into dancing Zouk, already starting to take privates from professional Zouk instructors that are international. We would and still do take notes, So I remember us as beginners just filling up our notebook with notes after workshops, after private lessons.
Discoveries of our own.
Yeah, like we're like, even yesterday we made some Zouk discoveries, and things that we're finding out about the dance, which is just so fulfilling to like in a dance where like we make a discovery every time we practice, So it's really cool. But yeah, we would be filling up notebooks, and people would kind of walk by us and be like, man, you guys are dedicated. Like, and we I think we were very dedicated from early on.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for me, along with all that, like I would watch a ton, and even to this day, a ton of William and Paloma videos.
Okay, I say you all met, or we all met them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, wait, continue. Please continue.
Yeah. We love them. And I just like remember watching his videos and just seeing like his musicality is insane, and that was the thing that just like drew me into the dance even more. I was like, there's so much potential in this dance, so much freedom of expression to the music.
Yeah.
And it just amazes me how they were able to like basically make the song seem like it was created for their dance.
Okay, I understand that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the crazy thing. And so like I would just study, the videos as much as I could, trying to analyze the technique, trying to understand what he was doing, before we were able to meet them at the time.
Yeah, he'd be like washing dishes, and he has William and Paloma playing, and then he's brushing his teeth, and William and Paloma.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the dedication.
all the time,
Yeah.
on the toilet. But yeah, what is really cool about watching William dance is you can watch the same video and notice more music.
Different things.
Yeah, than you saw the first time.
I understand. Yeah, I definitely understand that. That's awesome.
So that that was one of the things that I did a lot, starting from the beginning. And other things were just like she was in school. Were you in school yet? We didn't live, so we lived like 30 minutes away from each other at the time, and so it was hard for us to get practice time together. So the only time when she wasn't there with me, I would practice a lot on my own. So I would be practicing my steps. I would watch the videos and trying to pretend like I have a partner, and I would like visually pretend like they're there, and then imagine what it would be like. And then I would like practice the follow side of it to understand, how is it supposed to feel? What am I?
Yeah.
to lead the follow into the movement.
Yeah, learn both of them to follow in the lead. It helps you grow as a dancer. So that's always a good idea.
Yes, 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 for sure.
So yeah, it was good. Definitely like just from us training with each other. Like to me, I feel Gigi is one of my biggest and most influential teachers as well. Just because like I mean she's here with me every day, but she does have such a good natural understanding of movement because of her training from ice skating and everything. Um, that she can tell like okay like this doesn't feel quite right. Let's figure out what it is. Let's figure out how to make this work.
That's awesome.
So that definitely like even to this day, it's helping me clean up my dance, be a better lead. And so yeah, it's she's like my secret weapon.
Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. I know. If I'm not mistaken, you all recently took a trip to Brazil. Is that right? At the
Yes.
beginning of the year.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So I'm very curious. Could you tell me about that?
Yeah, so this was actually our second trip to Brazil. Our first one was the year before, so 2017, December 2017 through
2018.
January 2018.
Yeah.
And then again
2018 to
December
2019.
2018 to January 2019.
Yeah.
And each time, was a different, experience. The first time it was us getting to see a lot of Brazil, doing more tourist
The first
things.
time.
Yeah.
It's like
And it was just, it
it
was
felt
really
very
cool.
it's like that idea when you think when you go to a new place, it's like, oh, it's so magical, it's amazing, it's crazy. That was definitely us. We're like, oh, this place is amazing. Like it's not dangerous at all. What have you thought? Like it's so cool. Um, and we're very grateful that we had the Hamayos, like Akel and Hinato, were taking care of us. And it was really, really good experience. We got to do an event that Elizabeth Brewer was doing at the time called SLK, Spreading Love and Kindness. So we got to meet a lot of the Brazilian instructors over there, like Val Vanessa, Woodson.
We took quite a few privates with Val and Vanessa while we were there the first time. We got to go to the Rio Zouk Congress that year as well. And we got to go to the group classes like, a lot of the locals do. And it was really, we got to learn a lot, I feel like
Yeah.
that.
Of course, I bet. Yeah.
The second time we went, we actually got to go as instructors
Yes.
for the Hamalio's
Zouk
Zouk Festival.
So hold on. I just want to make sure you guys went to Brazil and actually taught there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I know, right?
They brought instructors from outside of Brazil to come and teach. That's
Yeah.
quite the accolade. Seriously.
Right.
Yeah, I felt very honored. And that was
Very,
our
very honored.
first Congress, our first festival that we had taught at.
Yeah.
And it was an international opportunity and in none other than Brazil. So we are very
Yeah.
grateful for that
Awesome.
opportunity.
I'm very happy that it was at the Hamania's place because to us, like they're family and they really do take care of us. And they have supported us from the beginning. And to see that they are still continually supporting us by inviting us to teach, like that was a very, 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 I don't know how to describe it.
Kind of came full circle
Yeah.
because they were our first Zouk workshop we had ever taken. Was Hakel and Hinato came to Austin. They taught our first workshop, and even then, Hakel told I think it was just me. She said, "I really see a lot of potential in you. Like keep practicing and keep growing, and you guys are gonna get really far." And for her to have said that when we were maybe like a month in was just I don't know. It was just
That's awesome. Yes, of course. I wanna real quick. I wanna ask you all, just like how like performance dancing and social dancing are two different skills. Tell me, um, what was it like learning to teach? Because being able to dance it and being able to teach it are two different things as well.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
I think we're still on that journey.
Yeah. Okay.
To be the best teachers that we can be. And it is probably the thing I love most now about dance is teaching. Like
Hey.
I love social dancing and we haven't performed for Zook yet, but that's something I'm looking forward to doing, in the near future with Nhat. And then also getting to teach has been like the biggest joy for me. But it's something that I realize that we're continuing to learn and grow and develop and understand. And and I think that's what also makes us better dancers too, is just the ability to like be humble and in that aspect of I don't know it all,
Ah, right.
and if my students ask me something I don't know, I'm okay with saying I'm not sure about that. Let me
Figure
ask
it
for you
out.
and let me
Yeah.
figure.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So but we learned initially because Hannah and Fabian, who started the first Zook program here in Austin, needed help with their weekly group classes and asked us to help teach with them. So for almost 2 years, we were teaching foundational Zouk classes, and I loved it. I love being there to see their first Zouk steps and to see them
Help
like
them grow and
take off.
improve.
Yeah.
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 And yeah, I love teaching the day one, month one
Yeah.
dancers, and I think doing 2 years of that like really helps you build.
Yeah. I really want to talk about that. So
Yeah.
yeah, so if I'm hearing you right, you pretty much spent 2 years perfecting the basics, right?
Yeah, and just
By teaching it, you're also kind of learning something yourself as well, right?
yes, yes, and
Yes.
it's crazy because we were making discoveries about the basic within those 2 years,
Of course, of course.
Like, oh wow, this is something new that I didn't
Yeah.
realize before, and I think that really helped set us up with a really strong foundation as dancers, but
Of
also
course.
as teachers.
I would say even till this day, like I'm still working on my basics.
Of
Like
course.
the other day, we were working on lateral and just like trying to like, oh, like how do we make it like feel more clean, more clear? And so it's just a constant journey, a constant journey of improvement and growing. But to me, like it's exciting in the sense that like there's always more to know, always more to learn, always
Always.
versus reaching a plateau.
Mm.
So that's really
I
cool.
I want to ask you this, man. I guess just try and give some help, tips and advice to people. How let's start with just the basics then. What are trying to think I can word this. How does one improve their basic? What is like I guess maybe one tip that you could give to someone to help improve their basic?
Practice your booms and
Okay, that's the
your
first step, right? The
chick.
boom,
But
chick,
booms
chick.
are very important. Just like the impulse step, the step that you take when you're traveling, that first boom step, that is such an important step and characteristic of what Zouk is. That a lot of us, when we first learn, we kind of just skim over it and just like, oh, okay, I know how to push off. Like, no, there's a lot of technique to it, and it helps to create the flow and the energy of the dance. So being able to really get that part of your basic well, like will help to improve your dance overall.
My tip would be to, even as you progress in your Zouk journey, to continue going to beginner classes, because some of
Yes.
the most important information given to you in your dance journey will be in those foundational classes. And when you're starting out, everything is new, so a few things go over your head.
Right, you might miss.
You don't hear everything.
Yeah.
So going again and going again, and yeah,
Yeah.
you might know your basic, in terms of like how your feet go, but
Yeah.
there's still a lot of the minute details that you miss.
Yeah.
Continue going to those beginner classes,
Yeah.
even if you feel like, oh, I know that. The other thing would be just to practice your basic, because a lot of people like want to skim over that, like, oh, I got it, and then want to move on to something more advanced. But just at home, practice your basic, just back and forth as many times as you can. Just practice your
Varying it
basic.
if you
Yeah.
can. Like, it was, I think it was about almost 2 years into our Zouk journey. And I feel a lot of people, when you've danced a dance for like about a year and a half, you kind of feel like you're intermediate, right? For us, we're like, what, William and Paloma are having a beginner boot camp at the Seattle Zouk Festival? Let's do this. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing we're going to go because.
Yeah, we had the choice between a teacher training program and then William and Paloma's beginner boot camp. They're both going on at the same time, and we're like, we're going to the
Boot
beginner
camp.
boot camp.
Hey, so enough. Yeah.
And we're already teaching at this point. We're already, maybe 2 year, 1.5 to 2 years
Years.
in, and we're like, we're going to the beginner
Of
class.
course.
And I learned so much about my basic that I did not know before. Like I was like, I'm doing my basic
All
all
wrong.
wrong.
I believe it. I believe it.
So like it was really nice to get all those holes filled in from
Mm.
and just being able to get a better understanding and ask the deeper questions because at that point it's like I have a better grasp of the
Right,
dance,
right, right.
ask the harder questions or the more detailed questions.
Yeah.
So that was really really good, and just being able to see how they teach and like that helped a lot. And
No, of course, of course.
yeah,
the
still
the ex-
influences to this day.
yeah, the examples they were using, the language they were using, all of that helped us too with our
Yeah,
back at
of
home.
course. I was thinking like going back. So I think you all are going to be, like close to episode 60. I'm not sure which number, but a common question I ask, the instructors is, well, I guess the common thing I always hear, is just how important the basics are. And I
Yes.
and I think when you kind of just take a step back and really think about it, it makes a lot of sense because the basics is the foundation, and so if you have a unstable foundation, everything on top of it is going to be shaky. So it makes all the sense in the world to have a very good basics or foundation. I
Yeah.
definitely understand that. Yeah, yeah. I wanna ask you this real quick. You see, you guys have been dancing for quite a long time. I'm curious, what are some lessons that you've learned from dancing that you're able to translate to your everyday life?
This one I think for me is a good one in the sense that um, for me, like growing up in like I'm very much a perfectionist. Like I'm very like I always want to do well. I always want to do this right. To what my perception of what right is, or to my perception of my standard, right? And so in dancing, like I put on the added pressure of being a teacher, and I'm like I'm on the stage where like I have to make sure that I do the best I can for the students, so they can have faith in me that I'm teaching them the right thing and
Right.
that I am not leading them the wrong way. And so I put a lot of pressure on myself of just um, like I have to get it right. If I don't get it right, like the first time, like I'm terrible. I'm a terrible dancer. I suck at this. I'm horrible. Like just all these negative thoughts of like
Uh-huh.
security of doubt and this not being enough. Like a lot of times I'd be like I'm holding you back, Gigi. Like like I'm not good enough to be your partner. I'm not good enough, like to blah 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 blah, and just all these things. And it's been a big journey for me to this day of self-discovery and discipline and learning more about who I am as a person. My what my weaknesses are. I realize I have way more self-doubt than I thought, um,
Okay.
and at the same time, like I also have learned how to start believing in myself more, how to have courage in myself. Like Gigi is always helping me with that. She's always trying to give me positive feedback, reinforcement, and trying to like make me believe in myself. This is something that I talk to our Zook masters about. William and Paloma is like like I feel like I'm not good enough. I feel like I can't do this. Like how do you handle this? And William told me something that made me really um, just really I really took it to heart. Was like if you don't believe in yourself, then who will?
Right. Yeah.
So like I think about that a lot to help me to motivate myself to like know that just because I messed up or whatever, like it's not the end of the world. Like
Mm.
I know that as long as I keep working, I keep training and being disciplined, then my hard work will pay off. And I think it took as long as it did because I'm finally am able to see the results of my hard work.
Yeah.
I think at the beginning it's hard. You see a big mountain and this is like I'm never gonna reach the top. And so I'm just without realizing it as I kept working harder and harder, like I'm ascending the mountain. And then when I finally started looking, I was like, and I look back down, I was like, oh, I went up a bit. I mean, there's still
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
but that's still
You
good.
made some. Yeah. I understand that.
So like it's been really good to just have like their support and just encouraging and to know that like my hard work is paying off. You know, like for me, I always felt like, or you always hear the thing is like, if you put in enough hard work, like you'll be able to achieve anything, blah blah. You know, it sounds kind of cheesy, and I was like, yeah, I guess. I was always that person that was like, I would like dabble in guitar, I would dabble in piano, and I would dabble in whatever, and I kind of just got bored and I gave up. And I never got proficient. Like in salsa bachata, like I felt mediocre because I never got to the level where I felt like I was really, really good, you know? In Zouk, I was like, I'm gonna do it. Like I'm gonna focus as much as I can. I'm gonna put all my effort into it. And so, gave up salsa bachata. Focus only on Zouk because it's like time is limited, finance is limited. So let's do this and let's really work hard to be able to pursue our dreams and goals. And now like I'm seeing the results and it feels very, I don't know, just very rewarding and makes me very happy
Yeah.
and a lot more confident, to be able to see that. But I think that carries on in my life just to know that like when things get rough, like it's easy to want to quit. But if you
Yeah.
when you keep trying, push through the hard and just like keep working at it, like you'll notice in like maybe a couple of weeks to a month, there's already some changes, and that's just from working a little bit day to day.
Okay.
And so not dwelling in too much the negativity and just knowing that there will be good that will come out of it.
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of like what he is saying is Nat has like or did have a really hard time with body awareness because like he said he didn't have the background in dancing or anything really physical. So and also my theory is that like in households with less like affection or physical touch, like that too can kind of make you less aware of what your touch feels like to
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
like what touch feels like when you receive it and qualities of the touch. So I think just everything kind of compounded and made Nat like have to work really really hard to try to have body awareness and understand the impacts of his touch and what this feels like and what this means. And so for maybe like a year, there'd be things that I kept telling him was still wrong with like or was he still needed to work on. And it was like the same issue, the same issue, the same issue for like a year or even more. And so I can see how that can be discouraging to anybody.
Yeah, of course.
Never gonna get good at this because it's the same issue. I can't fix it. I'm never gonna get better at this. But he kept pushing through that, and he finally got to the point where
That's
he
awesome.
improvement in those areas. And
Mhm.
oh my gosh, like yeah, it's just I'm proud of him for that because he pushed through those hard times and now we can see the
Rewards of
benefits.
it.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
No,
benefits.
that's awesome. That's awesome. That's wonderful to hear as well.
I don't want you to think that like my parents were like not loving or
It's not-
definitely loved me and definitely took care of me, but different cultures show it in
Of
different
course.
ways.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
And I think the one of the biggest lessons that we still apply to this day is communication.
Yeah.
Whether it be teaching or working with each other, training, like that is the hardest thing to improve on and the hardest thing to maintain because egos get in the way. Egos are a
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, you can still be a relatively humble person, but trust me, when you think you're right, like it's hard to let that go
I believe it. I
because
understand.
like it because when you believe something is right, it's because you've had all these what you held as truths to yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Defend it, until you can see someone prove it wrong. Like, okay, I guess, I can see that. And so that definitely was a big struggle for us. Like, I know people are like, oh, but you're married. Like, it should be easy for you. It's like, the most thing that we argue about is dance.
Okay, I understand.
If anything, like, I think, I think being able to discuss with each other and like hear each other out, understand each person's side. We've been able to grow from that and just learn a lot more and be able to teach way better because it's like it's never about like, well, the student said they only felt this, but like, no, they're wrong. They don't know what they're talking about. It's like, why are they feeling that? You know, why do they feel like they perceive it as that? Am I not communicating something to them properly as a teacher that maybe I need to show or explain a different way so that they can understand what I want them to? So a lot of that plays into just day-to-day life, you know, communication skills, being able to make sure you're relaying your message properly, because it's like one is giving the message, the other is receiving the message, and there's ways for communication to break down in both.
Of course, of course.
For me, I just from my personal journey with dance and seeing how much confidence it's given me and how much confidence I've seen Nat, develop from dance is like I also want to be able to foster that in my students and be able to like be encouraging and help them, through forget whatever is going on in your that your troubles, you come to dance and you're here to enjoy. And I think that's something that I've kind of want to put out in my life is like dance can bring you so much joy and so much happiness
Yeah, yeah.
with self-confidence and self-love and all of these things. So that's something that I definitely love about dance.
Yeah, and that's, because it's been such a journey for me. Like that's definitely a very a big message that we want to be able to share and spread with people is that, yes, we're teaching dance, but at the end of the day, we want to reach out to people. Our goal is to be able to help people, whether it be in dance or just in their life in some way, and dance is just an avenue for that.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely understand that. So, let me ask you this. For people who are beginners right now, and they're currently, I guess they feel like, they might be in a beginner's rut.
Yeah.
Like they're not progressing. What advice could you give them?
Me? Okay. Don't give up, like, yes, it's very tempting to like just try the new things and the more flashy things. Very tempting. But that is not what is going to help you grow the most. What's going to help you grow the most is to go back and look, record yourself. Try to see like, why is my dancing feeling a little weird? Try to, as you're practicing, pay attention to what each part of your body is doing. Because a lot of times we're like, oh, I'm stepping, I'm doing my basic, I'm doing it just fine. It feels just great. And then when you record yourself and you watch yourself, like, I look like I'm hopping around or something, like
Yeah, definitely.
being able to start seeing yourself and connecting what you feel is in your body to what you actually are doing is
Right, right.
thing. So that body awareness, and constantly asking questions, never ever stop. Like always, always, always
Yes,
ask.
that's something
Always be a student.
Yes.
challenge your teachers. Ask them
Yes.
questions. Don't be afraid.
Yes.
Like if there's something they said that you're like unsure about, ask
Yes.
them.
Yes.
We love getting questions in class, and we love being kind of challenged on something because
Yeah.
it helps us to discover more and
To grow
to
and
grow and to learn more. The other thing I would say with someone kind of in a rut is to kind of break from the routine that they're in. Maybe they're just going to group classes and they feel like they're in a rut because they're not, getting everything that they need from a group class. They can instead, reach out to a friend and say, hey, do you want to practice with me? Let's practice together. That can help, break someone out of that rut because now you have another perspective and now you have someone to practice with and to try things with and discover new things with. Or try maybe going to your first festival, if it's something local too or something close by, and that will just open up.
Yeah, festivals and congresses are always a great experience.
Yes, just
Yes.
new instructors.
Yes.
So a new way to hear the same information can help actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. That's definitely been like for us, like we try to encourage our students, like, yes, we love that you come to learn from us, but if you get an opportunity to learn from an international instructor, like, or just an instructor that like is very, very good, like do it,
Yeah, yeah.
take that opportunity, because that's how you're going to grow. You're going to see so much growth because people have different experiences and different ways of teaching and showing things that they bring. So that will help you overall. Like that's honestly how we've grown so much as well.
Yeah, so some of our students will be like, "Oh, I just took a private with so and so," and they're like, "I finally understand what you've been saying this whole time."
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
So it's just for them to hear it in a new way,
Right.
examples, things like that. It helps to finally get something to click and be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, that's what you've been talking about," you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I if they can like find if they feel like they're stuck like doing the same movements or whatever, play around, like try to explore within the confines of what they already know.
Yes, more variations of their basics. There's
Yes.
tons. We discover variations of Vidaginha and Lateral and Simple Turn all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like,
There's
yeah,
so
you
many
can
things you can do.
it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can do so much with the basics.
Without just head movement, because a lot of people like to jump like, oh, I'm never gonna get there. It's like, like that shouldn't be the goal. The goal should be like being able to enjoy the dance, have fun. I can have just as much fun with someone who can't do head movement just as I can with someone who can, and it's just a matter of perception. Like being like just coming in with an attitude like, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna enjoy, I'm just gonna see like what we can create together, and that should be always the goal.
I
So
like that goal. That's a good goal.
yeah, trying not to like be so
Put
hard on yourself.
expectations
Yes.
on your partner, on
Yourself.
yourself. Yeah.
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 That's the like all that will help a lot.
I believe it. Yeah.
Watch a bunch of videos too, and give you more variations on basic things,
Mhm.
and that will help just
Yeah.
as much.
That's awesome. I want to ask you, I guess like an extension to that question, for people who are intermediates and they want to get to, I guess that expert level or advanced level, what does it take for them?
So I still feel that I'm not. I'm still like maybe starting off as intermediate personally, just because there's so much to learn and so much to grow. But I think to get to that point, um, working on the finer details, really understanding what you're doing exactly. Like it's easy to just think like, oh, I can do a counterbalance, I can do a simple turn. That's easy. Like, but do you understand what's happening like with your partner? Do you understand like where you're putting your weight? Do you understand how much tension do you have in your hands, in your body? Like just all those little nuances is what separates between an intermediate dancer and an advanced slash expert dancer. Um, so getting to that level of detail, that is a big jump.
Actually, this is interesting because I feel like once you are at this intermediate level and you want to jump to the advanced, I feel like you have to go back to the beginning.
Yes.
I
That's
feel
what I always hear. That's what I always
Yeah.
hear.
I feel like you have to go back to the foundations to get to that expert or advanced level, because then you start, like I said, picking up on the things you missed that first go
Yep.
around when you were there, and
Mm.
start getting the finer details, the little things that make you now look like an advanced dancer. Whereas before you could do the fancy movements, but it sometimes looked a little bit off. It's like
Felt a little
yes,
off.
or felt a little off,
Yeah.
or this wasn't quite right, but then going back and
Cleaning
filling
it
in
up.
those gaps, cleaning it up, and then now looking, the part,
Stronger.
looking
Yeah.
stronger, looking um, more supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes all the sense. That makes all the sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then and then once you get to that point where you have a strong foundation, actually learning the more advanced movements
So easy.
becomes easier.
Right.
That no
Much
longer
easier.
doesn't feel like this is
Yeah.
so hard. That actually becomes easier because you have a strong base, you have a strong foundation, and you start realizing that all of the what you're doing that is advanced is just really
Foundation.
foundational
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
little variations and little tweaks and
Exactly.
whatever.
Mhm.
But it's all back down to the foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the sorry.
I was gonna say, just going back to how the advanced moves don't seem so daunting. 'Cause I relate that to just salsa for me. How like
Yeah.
I guess in salsa, there's only like only so many things you can do, like a left turn, right turn, crossbody lead. But everything advanced is really just a variation of a
Exactly.
basic move, right? So I definitely understand that.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I would say for people who are wanting to reach that advanced expert level is focus more on quality than quantity. Like quantity will come with time as you start understanding the foundation, as you start understanding the possibilities that you can do at a certain point in the dance. But you need to really focus on making your movements very clean, very like efficient. So then that way, like just everything will flow a lot more naturally in your own body as you're doing, I don't know, just bonus, right? Doing bonus and making sure that that feels right. So then as I start tweaking little things here and there to add in the variations, like it will still feel relatively the same, just with slight little difference, but I understand how that feels in my body. And so having that quality will help you to expand your quantity in the future.
And the
Okay.
other thing is also understanding the dance for yourself. I think that comes with starting to be an advanced dancer, is you no longer are relying from these outside sources about what you're doing wrong. You can now rely on
Yes.
your own understanding of the
Your
dance
awareness.
and your own awareness, your own body
Mhm.
awareness, to be able to pinpoint the issues and the problems.
Yep.
So that is also something that I would challenge people that are trying to become advanced, is like try to understand it for yourself, discover things for yourself, draw diagrams, whatever helps
Yeah.
you to make these, like, make your own little theories. We have like hundreds of our own little theories about Zook, but that comes from our own
Experience.
discovery
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
understanding,
yeah.
experimentation, and
Yep.
just try things. Like, yeah, we can replicate what we see, but we can also create from the ground up. We can create things because we know our foundation. We can start creating new things.
Yeah.
I understand that. I definitely understand that. Let me ask you this. I want you both to answer this. Give me one tip that can make someone a better dancer instantly.
Instantly. Yeah. A lot of tips. No, just I gotta pick one though. Most important one.
Or if you maybe give your top three. How about that?
Top three.
If you have that many.
You can go first.
Oh man.
Because I might take yours.
No, you go first.
No.
You go first. No, you go. I'm still thinking of
Okay.
of
So we already talked about basics and everything, but one big tip is just alignment of your body. Making sure that both the lead and the follow are able to have their own balance in the dance. So, like a lot of times when we dance as a follow, you sometimes feel that like, oh, I need to really like rely on the lead to carry me through the dance. Like that's for some reason is the connotation with social dance and as a follow. It doesn't make sense to me because when you think about partner dancing, well, it's called partner dancing for a reason. We both are dancing and we both are helping each other. But if it's just the lead carrying the follow around, that's like dragging around. I don't know.
Yeah. Nah, I understand. Yeah.
So having our own balance within our own dance and being able to power our own movements by ourselves while still communicating together, that's what partner dancing is, and that's a big tip that would help improve our dancers a lot.
I definitely understand that. Yeah, definitely. That makes a
yeah.
lot of sense.
Actually,
Told you.
yeah, that is my thing. Yeah, so for the leads to trust the follows more. Trust follows
Mhm.
can accomplish the movement that you're trying to lead, from the impulse that you give in the boom, and trusting that your follower will be able to do it, instead of thinking I have to lead every single portion of this and make her do this. No, my quick little tip that will help leads pretty much instantly is trusting the follows, that they will be able to do the movement, and for the follows to also give themselves a simultaneous impulse along with the lead and the boom. So you're not just this passive
Right.
being carried around. You're also energized in the dance, but you're matching the impulse. You're not giving more and you're not giving less,
Exactly. Yeah.
but you're just as a part of this dance as the lead is, and
Of
you're
course.
as much as the lead is. So that's something that will pretty much instantly help. And then the second thing is alignment. Just looking in the mirror, practicing what that feels like. My lower abs, I need to engage them so that my, I don't have this lordotic curve. Okay, I'm gonna start doing that. My shoulders are coming up. I just need to push these down.
Yeah.
When I stand, I'm noticing I'm leaning a little bit forward. So I'm gonna bring my rib cage right over my hips, and then alignment will instantly make you a lighter follow. And for the lead, alignment will also make you a better lead as
I
well.
believe it. I believe it. Yeah.
Aligned,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome, and that makes a lot of sense. I guess I really want to thank you both for taking time out today talking to me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so
course.
much
Thank
for
you.
having us on your show. It's
Yeah.
Of course.
yeah.
Mhm.
Of course. Yeah. Real quick. Tell me, what are some of your upcoming events?
Can we say it?
Yeah,
Can I say it?
you can.
Okay. So the first week of June, we're going to be teaching in DC. So DC Zook Congress. It's from, I think they're doing it actually from June 1st all the way to like June 10th. So it's a pretty long event. But most of the Congress is going to be between, I want to say like the 5th.
June
Uh,
5th.
I think I would double check. Yeah. So come check that out. That'll be really fun. There'll be a lot of different artists there.
June 6th through the 10th.
10th? Okay, yeah. So it'll be really good. It'll also be Gigi's birthday that weekend.
Hey.
And then our next event after that, which we're very, very excited and blessed, and just it's amazing that that happened, is Madrid Zoo Congress, held by William and Paloma and Irene. So it's a Madrid Zouk Bachata Congress in September the 19th to the 22nd. I think is the date. So that's gonna be really, really good. A lot of great international artists are gonna be there. And then it'll also be Paloma's birthday. We'll be celebrating as well.
That's awesome. Okay, that's awesome.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. I got anything else? I'm curious. Sorry, anything major?
I think that's about it. We're
So,
going.
so what do you guys you teach weekly? Is that correct?
Yes.
Please plug that. Let me know.
Yeah. So we teach weekly right now at Dance International on Thursday nights. We have our foundational classes at 7 to 8:15, and then our intermediate from 8:15 to 9:30, and then we have our little social / plática afterwards until midnight. And we will be moving to a new studio in October. This new studio's name is Body Collective, and the dates of that are not known yet. But yeah, we're looking forward to to moving with Body Collective, and we're very happy at Dance International as well as just a new opportunity, more growth,
Yeah.
more outreach. Yeah.
We also have our monthly Zook social. It's Zook only, and it's every second Friday of the month. Right now it's at Dance International. Starts at usually 10 p.m. All the way to 2 a.m. or longer, depending on how many people stay. And yeah, it's growing. Just overall, we're good. Yeah.
I just want to make sure for people know, say you all will be teaching in Austin, Texas, right? That's where the dance studios are located, Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Make sure people know that. Real quick, tell me how can people get in contact with you if they want to?
Facebook is the easiest way, the best way. Facebook Messenger. We have our page, I guess they call it the artist page. For it's like Nhat and Gigi. You can contact us through that, like it, or just if you have us as friends on Facebook, you can just contact us directly through there. She responds a lot faster than I do. I try to respond as fast as I can. I gotta get caught up with work, but we definitely will get back and everything.
Plug your Instagram handles. Do you know about heart?
Oh yeah.
So mine is just Gigi Jove Ho. So GIGIJOVEHO.
Mine is Nhat Ho1. So NHATHHO1.
Hey,
So yeah. Yeah, and I guess put another plug. Also DJ for Zook. don't have really creative name, but DJ Nhat.
Yeah, simple as that's all you need, man.
So I'll try to get some of my mixes out on SoundCloud. She's been pushing me to do that, but
Definitely, yeah.
Good. So they need to
Yeah,
be there.
yeah, of course, of course. That's awesome, man. I say when I publish this, I will put all your content information, in the details. So I got you on that.
I
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much.
Of
Thank
course,
you
of
Thanks,
for
course.
man.
this.
Of course, yeah. And like I said, I really do appreciate you all taking time out to talk to me. It means so much to me. Thank you so much.
Where
We're
are
honored.
you?
Thank you.
Are you in DC or?
Actually, so I used to live in Richmond, Virginia, which is like maybe 2 to 3 hours from DC, not
Oh,
far at all. But right now, I actually stay in New Orleans, Louisiana.
oh,
Yeah,
sweet. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So
But
yeah,
no, go ahead.
oh, I said, yeah, I'm actually in the military, so I'm moving around a lot. But yeah,
Okay.
currently I'm stationed in New Orleans. Cool little city, man. We have a very small Zook scene here. We have a wonderful teacher named Tina Singh.
Yeah,
Yes,
Wonderful.
yes, I know her. Yeah.
You know Tina?
Yes.
yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, Tina's amazing. It's just so unfortunate. The scene here is kind of small. We have pretty much a small salsa, kizomba, Brazilian zouk. It's a very small scene here, very unfortunately. But it's better than nothing. So
Yeah,
I'll
Sure.
take what I can get. But
Exactly.
yeah. I just I'm right now. I'm still in those beginning stages, trying to improve my zouk and everything.
Well, let us know if you ever have any questions or
Yes,
anything.
please,
If you get
please let
stuck.
us know if you
Yeah.
like. Hey, I know I'm kind of stuck on this. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think? Feel free to shoot us a message anytime.
I
Please.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I really do. But
Let's
yeah.
see DC as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know yet, but I would love to. I would absolutely love to. Hopefully, I'll get to see you in the Madrid one. Honestly, I would like that even more.
Be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
Hey, but yeah, but like I said, say thank you so much. I just want to say I hope you two, enjoy the rest of your evening, the rest of your night. Thank you so much.
Thank
You too.
you, thank
Thank
you,
you so
thank you.
much.
We have a private at 8:30, so we
Okay,
have
all right.
to run over.
I understand. So then, thank you so much. Take it
Yes.
easy.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right, so hey everyone. If you made it this far to the end of the video, I want to thank you so much for just, watching this. I really hope that you found value in this. My whole goal in this endeavor is, to give a voice to people, to dancers, and to give value to the dance community. So if I'm not giving value, it's kind of pointless. So I strongly urge you to please comment and let me know where I can improve, what I need to do better, what I'm doing wrong, and hopefully what I'm doing right, but my overall goal is I want to give content. I want to be helpful. So please let me know where I can improve upon. I'm new to all this, so I'm learning as I go. So I need feedback. Please comment and just let me know how I can improve. I would greatly appreciate that. That means the world to me, just to be able to interact with you all, have a conversation with you and just, see what you like and what you don't like. That means the world to me. I love interacting with you all. It means so much to me. But yeah, thank you so much for making it this far into the video. I gotta say, please leave a like, subscribe. If you don't like it, then let me know why not. Hit the down like button, hit the unlike button. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.